This is the Dragon 2121, and I've decided that I'm going to be a huge nerd, and I'm going to read out a book. It's very odd. I don't think many people might do this on YouTube very often, but I've decided, hey, why not? I've got a book. It's not the first book in the series, mind you, so readers beware. But it's a good book. It's been a very good series to me throughout the whole year, through the years and stuff like that. So I decided, why not? I'll read it out to you guys. Get you guys have a feel of the series. I know it's probably makes some of the things make no sense, but Terry Goodkind, the author, does a very good job of explaining things in case people have picked up the series late or whatever. So just hang in there. Bear with me. If you have any questions, just of course comment below. I'll answer them. So yes, we are reading a book by Terry Goodkind. It's called Phantom. There we go. By Terry Goodkind. And there's two main characters that I'll call them main characters, but there's also very important minor characters that could be classified as main characters. But their names are Richard and Kalan. And a little backstory, they met in a forest where Richard grew up. He didn't know anything about magic. He didn't know anything about the other countries like Midlands and Dahara. He knew nothing about that. He just kind of grew up in the woods, was a woods guide, and blah blah blah. Then he met Kalan, and that's when everything changed. They met. He helped her out a lot. She helped him a lot. They fell in love with one another. They are married, actually, very happily married. That's later on in the series, of course, but they're married now. But they're separated right now, and it's kind of a weird thing that happened. I call it a Chainfire event. It's from the book Chainfire, the book right before this. So that was a good hint for you guys. But yeah, it's interesting because they're separated, but no one in the world remembers Kalan. Everybody's memory got wiped away from her, from these sorceresses that knew Richard, that used to teach him about magic. So it's really weird because Richard's the only one that remembers because he was holding his sword, which has powers, because he's a seeker, and has powers that go along with his gift, his magic. So he was clutching the sword when the Chainfire event got unleashed. So he still has his memory of her, but no one else does. So it's really interesting to kind of follow, and we'll just start off from there. Shall we begin with chapter 1? Okay, ready? Okay, let's go. Kalan stood quietly in the shadows, watching as Evil knocked softly on the door. Huddled under the small overhang off to the side, she hoped that no one would answer that knock. As much as she would like to spend the night in and out of the rain, she didn't want trouble to visit innocent people. She knew though, that she had no say in the matter. The light of a single lantern flickered weakly through the slender windows either side of the door, reflecting a pale, shimmering glow off the wet floor of the portico. The sign overhead, hung by two iron rings, grated and squealed each time it swung back and forth in the wind-borne rain. Kalan was able to make out the spectral white shape of a horse painted on the dark wet sign. The light from the windows wasn't enough to enable her to read the name, but because the other three women with her had talked of little else for days, Kalan knew that the name would be the White Horse Inn. By the smell of manure and wet hay, she judged that one of the dark buildings nearby had to be a stable. In the sporadic displays of distant lightning, she could just make out the hulking shoulders of dark structures standing like ghosts beyond the billowing sheets of rain. Despite the steady roar of the deluge and the rumble of thunder, it appeared that the village was sound asleep. Kalan could think of no better place to be on such a dark and wretched night than bundled up under bed covers and safe and warm. A horse in the nearby stable whinnied when Sister Ulysses knocked a second time, louder, more insistently, even evidently intending herself to be heard over the riot of rain, yet not so loud as to sound hostile. Sister Ulysses, a woman given to reckless impulse, seemed to be taking a deliberately restrained approach. Kalan didn't know why, but imagined that had to do with the reason they were there. It also might have been nothing more than the random nature of her moods. Like lightning, the woman's smoldering bad temper was not only dangerous, but unpredictable. Kalan couldn't always tell exactly when Sister Ulysses would lash out, and just because she so far didn't mean that she wouldn't. Neither of the other two sisters was in any better mood or any less inclined toward losing their temper. Kalan supposed that soon enough the three of them would be happy and quietly celebrating their reunion. Lightning flashed close enough that the blinding but halting incandescence briefly revealed a whole street of buildings crowded close around the muddy, rutted road. Thunder boomed through the mountainous countryside and shook the ground beneath their feet. Kalan wished that there was something, like the way lightning revealed things otherwise hidden in the obscurity of night, that could help illuminate the hidden memories of her past and bring to light what was concealed by the murky mystery of who she was. She had a fierce longing to be free of the sisters, a burning desire to live her own life, to know what her life really was. That much she knew about herself. She knew, too, that her convictions had to be founded in experience. It was obvious to her that there had to be something there, people and events that had helped make her the woman she was. But try as she might to recall them, they were lost to her. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That terrible day she stole the boxes for the sisters. She had promised herself that someday she would find the truth of who she was and she would be free. So I'm just going to stop there, explain a little bit. The boxes she's talking about are called the boxes of Orden. They are really sinister, black, dark things. Like, picture something you've seen that's been dark and black. They're darker than that. They're darker than night. That's how Terry Goodkind explains it in the book and the series before, like the books before. Yeah, they are really sinister things. They hold power. Each box unleashes something different. One can do immortality. Another one can do instant death for the person opening the box. And the third one, we don't really know. Only Richard knows, because he's read the book. He's got the book memorized, the Book of Counted Shadows, I think it's called. With him having that book memorized as a young boy, only he really knows what all the three boxes can unleash, besides what others have studied from them. So he only really knows that, only everybody really knows that they are very powerful and very dangerous and they need to be kept secret. But because nobody knows who Kalan is, and no one can actually really physically see her or understand that someone's there, she was able to sneak into the palace and steal them for these sinister sorceresses, Sister Ulysses, Cecilia, and I believe, not Tovi, but, gosh, I forget the third sister's name, but they're wicked. Very, very wicked. Yeah. So there's a little explanation there for you. I hope things will start to tie together soon. If not, read the books. Yes. Okay. Ask questions below, again, please. This is when Sister Ulysses knocked a third time. A muffled voice came from inside. "I heard you!" It was a man's voice. His bare feet thumped down wooden stairs. "I'll be right there! A moment, please!" His annoyance at having been awakened in the middle of the night was layered over with forced deference to potential customers. Sister Ulysses turned a sullen look on Kalan. "You know that we have business here." She lifted a cautionary finger before Kalan's face. "Don't you even think of giving us any trouble, or you'll get what you got the last time." Kalan swallowed at the reminder. "Yes, Sister Ulysses." "Tovi had better have gone us a room," Sister Cecilia complained. "I'm in no mood to be told the place is full." "There will be room," Sister Armina said, with soothing assurance, cutting off Sister Cecilia's habit of always assuming the worst. Well, we're going to leave it there. I will continue the series. And, well, ask questions, leave comments, like, whatever you want, please. Ciao!